This episode is brought to you by eLiquid. For 20% off your first purchase, visit eliquid.com/madcast and use the promo code MADCAST during checkout. Welcome to the best debate in the universe. Every debate in the universe, from Art Traps Gay to the capital of Uruguay. With over 4 million downloads, I'm your host, Maddox. With me is the Rear Admiral of Tangents, Ron Babcock.
Hey.
And special guest this week, Blaire White.
Hi.
Welcome back to the show, guys. Excited show this week. Welcome back to our sponsor, too, eLiquid and Blaire. This is the second time you've been on the show. Welcome back to the show, Blaire.
Yeah, I think it was like a little over a year ago I did it last time.
Yeah, a bit. It's been a while. You were on right after VidCon last year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we were all very hungover.
Oh, yeah. I actually saw the video like a while ago, and I was like wearing sunglasses, and I looked like shit, and I was like, yeah, I'm here, but what's going on?
Everybody gets a little bit, I think everyone gets a little bit more self-conscious on camera, but you were great last time you were on. And we debated, the debate we had last time was, are traps gay?
Yeah, such a thing to debate when you're hungover.
Yeah. And your boyfriend, newly boyfriend at the time, newly minted boyfriend, Joey was on the show as well.
Newly minted?
Newly minted, yeah.
That's a weird way of saying that.
How do you say
Sounds
it?
like he came out of a factory.
Yeah, it's the boyfriend factory.
Yeah.
Where all boyfriends come
Got
from.
this fresh boyfriend delivered, wrapped in plastic.
Yeah, that was around that time that you guys formally announced that you were dating.
That was our second day together.
Really?
That was day 2.
Holy shit. Wow, that was amazing.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't have known if you didn't tell me just now. I thought, because you guys had so much chemistry, and I talk about Joey like he's not in the room. He's just he's not on camera right now, but he is in the room
He's
watching
here.
and listening. But yeah, you guys had so much chemistry. I would not have been able to tell. And it's been great ever since, and huge announcement since then.
Oh, yeah, we're engaged now.
Yeah.
Aw,
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
I can say honestly, like, two of the most adorable, sweetest couple I've ever met. Yeah, you guys are so much fun and just like so sweet together.
Did you guys set up the registry yet?
No, and you know what's so funny? Like after we got engaged, I feel like every day since then, my followers are constantly asking, "When's the wedding? When's the wedding? When's the wedding?" And for me, I feel like we should just enjoy the stage of being engaged and not rush it. Like there's a time and place for everything. So enjoy being boyfriend, girlfriend, enjoy being engaged, and enjoy being married.
Sure, I agree. I mean, I wouldn't know.
Do you have a go-to wedding gift when the registry? Like, is there always a gift that you choose to buy?
No, I don't go to the registry. I'm like,
I got it, man.
what do you do?
Every time, always buy the sheets.
Oh.
And then I always leave a message, think of me when you're fucking on it.
Oh my God.
And it's a real, because they can't get mad at you because you got something, that they wanted, but it's a real way to creep up the wedding factor.
Yeah, it's super way to creep up the wedding
You
factor.
don't think you can creep out at a wedding. You can.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean, the sky's the limit if you really want to be creepy.
Yeah, there's lots of ways to be
so
creepy.
you go rogue? You don't go on the registry?
No, I don't go on the registry. I'm like, what is this? I'm not going to
So
go
what
through
are you
this.
doing?
list
What are you
of-
buying them, like gift cards to like?
Yeah, cash.
Chili's?
A
But you don't-
Target gift card is the best gift you could give anyone.
Yeah.
I love Target
Right?
gift cards.
Target
Yeah.
has everything. What do you need that they don't have at Target? Nothing.
I will say that I wish it was okay to just say, hey, can I just have cash? Because like that's the thing that's most useful, especially to like
Exactly.
a wedding.
Oh,
couple
I just
starting
do
out.
that. I
Yes.
just say, yeah, because I can never think of a present because like all the things that I want, I kind of just get myself. I'm never the person to be like, oh, get me this. So just give me cash.
And I'm the kind of person where I'm so like particular about my stuff that if somebody gets me like a Cuisinart food processor, like I want to be kind of bummed if it's not the exact model
Yeah.
that I want. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, cool, you almost got it right. So
Yeah.
I just give me the cash, I'll get it myself.
The cash. A mutual friend of ours got married, and I slipped an envelope with a crisp 100 in there.
Ooh, got that crisp hundo.
He was so happy. It's so much more useful. You can buy gas on the way home from the
Oh,
wedding. Things come up at the wedding. You have to make a run to the store, get something that you ran out of.
You should have put like, hey, listen, I'm only giving you $90, but I couldn't have change, so you owe me $10.
Oh man, that does seem like
P.S. Don't be a dick about this.
Yeah, that does seem like a Maddox move. Oh man, we got some voicemails about you this week, Ron. This is,
God,
yeah,
great.
it'll be hilarious. Oh, which I should mention the debate this week. What we're going to be debating: is it possible to be authentic on YouTube? I think this is something that Blaire, you and I have a lot of strong opinions on.
I'm the perfect guest because I'm so fake.
No, no. I think because you're so entrenched in this YouTube world. Like we have so many people. Well, I've had people on this show. You know, we've had Sargon, Rucka, the old moderator from the show, and a lot of big YouTubers have been on the show, like Destiny and Chris Raygun. Like, so I think this is the world that we live in, and we see it firsthand because as content creators and also as people who are sometimes on the receiving end of some of the criticism and things like that. So we're going to talk about that. That's the debate this week. But before we get to that point, I do want to make an announcement. I actually said this on the live stream last week, but we forgot to include it in the published episode. But this show is going to twice monthly, and there's a reason for that. I'm starting another new podcast, which I'll announce soon. And if you've been paying attention, you'll know it's coming, and you'll know what it's about. All right. Well, on that note, we should get to the debate. I really want to get right into this because I think this is a fascinating topic. We have a lot of opinions on this. Is it possible?
That's good because I honestly have none whatsoever.
Great.
I feel like I'm going to be like the average YouTube viewer at home. I'll be representing you, and you guys are like hardcore YouTube.
Correct.
Right.
Okay.
Yes. And so Ron will be the audience's point of view, which is very important, I think, because sometimes, when we start
have you
talking
seen
about
the
baseball,
cat that plays a piano?
Okay. Ron.
That's fun.
Dad.
Great.
Okay, Dad.
Yeah. Well, before we begin, let's hear everyone's buzzers. Mine sounds like this. And Blaire?
Trigger.
Okay, there's Blaire's. And Ron's phone is dead this week, so he will have to use a mouth buzzer. Bzzz. Okay. If you hear a buzzer from anyone during this debate or Ron, that means that somebody is disagreeing with someone else, or we're just trying to interject with a point we want to make. But Blaire, as our guest this week, I'm going to give you first stab at the debate.
Okay.
Is it possible to be authentic on YouTube? Why or why not?
Absolutely. I mean, you can make whatever kind of content you want. You can be as authentic or as inauthentic as you can. I will say, however, I feel like viewers see through inauthentic people usually. But there are some people who are really fucking good at it, that are really good at fooling people. I think the people who are authentic last a lot longer because people, YouTube is different from television in the sense that you have stronger feelings for YouTubers. You're more invested in them because they're real people. They're not just talking heads or actors. So the realer you are, I think the more you'll last. And the fake ones always fizzle out, in my opinion.
Right. Okay. So I don't want to really put you on the spot here, so you don't have to answer this if you don't want to. But is there anybody that comes to mind? It's easier to answer the question of authentic or inauthentic. Any particular people who come to mind? Because I don't want to turn
that
this
are inauthentic.
Well, either inauthentic or authentic. Anyone in particular?
Oh, absolutely. A lot of YouTubers are fake as hell. A lot of YouTubers are so different in real life than in person.
Absolutely.
We were just talking about this a second ago, how I went to MythCon, which is a political discussion convention panel type thing. And there were so many other speakers at that event. I was a speaker that were on sort of maybe the opposite ends politically or whatever, or just hated me in general. And online, they go really hard against me. They'll say the worst things about me online. But in the first few hours of being at MythCon, I feel like I got like 6 different apologies from like all of them, because in person, they're not really that person. In person, they're like, oh, I see Blaire's a nice person. She's just here. So they were acting like bitches, basically.
Yeah, exactly. And I experienced that. I experienced that
I
as
can
well.
swear, right? Swear?
Oh, yeah, swear.
Okay,
Actually,
cool.
We prefer you didn't.
Okay.
Ron just became Mormon.
Yeah,
so
I did.
Did you?
No.
I have a question.
Yes.
So you're all talking about these YouTubers being fake as hell.
Yes.
Well, what are you talking about? Like, what does that really mean?
Oh.
Like, I mean, are people supposed to be exactly who they are in real life on YouTube? Isn't it always going to be kind of a more exaggerated version of yourself?
Well, there's always a heightened, entertainment factor. So for me, I'm the same person in real life as online, but online I'm also like, if I'm at an 8 in real life, I'll be at a 10 on YouTube. You know what I mean? Or depending on the video, maybe I'll be more sad than I really am in person. But in general, the stuff I say is always the same and how I feel about things. But there are YouTubers, like I was friends with this YouTuber for a while, who would ask me to fake a fight with her for views. All the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
And so I was like, girl, I don't want to do that. I'm not going to, fake a fight for views.
So is that what you guys mean by like people being inauthentic? Is that they're kind of creating this unnecessary drama for the purpose of just getting clicks,
like
and
living
getting
a
views?
fake life.
Exactly.
Okay.
And there is a lot of that. And it's created like a subculture on YouTube of drama channels where they will thrive on and persist drama just for the sake of getting clicks and views. And that is inauthentic. And it feels inauthentic. And it's sometimes at the expense of people's lives. Like people actually get destroyed because the YouTube, the difference between YouTube and traditional Hollywood is that the traditional Hollywood had like gatekeepers. There was no direct interface between the celebrity and their fans. There was agents and managers and production companies and studios. We are living in an age where the fans and the creators have a direct interface together. And it means you will get exposed to the most vicious and vile attacks from people who have no moral compass, no ethical standard, no lines that they won't cross. And it's created this entire subculture on YouTube. You can monetize it because people know that drama gets clicks.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially, Blaire, you have a big name. So if people talk about you, I just saw, like, right before I was watching a bunch of your videos, and, you know, any big YouTuber has this, they have, like, this, like, cabal of people who are just, like, out and obsessed and out to get them and writing, just, you know, constantly making videos attacking you, right?
Like a cult following of haters.
Exactly, yeah. And it's a sign of success, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is a sign of success. But
is that how you know you finally made it? When you have like the first like kind of hate fan video that you see of yourself, and you're like, "All right, I did it."
I always say success and fame is when you have like, you know, 60% people who love you and 40% who hate you. It's like 60-40. So most people like you, but you have a chunk of people who hate you, and they still keep your name afloat. And granted, as far as the drama and stuff, I feel like earlier in my channel, if I'm being honest, I participated in that. I would use people for clicks and for attention or whatever, and I would make things more dramatic than it really was, because I saw that was a way to do it in the beginning. But as I got a little more I guess, aged into my YouTube life, I kind of realized that isn't sustainable and that people eventually get bored of it.
Yeah.
And so it was up to me to amp up my potential and realize what I can do and start making videos that were just about me and seeing, like, could I get the attention and get the views and get the money from just being me? So I had to make better content. And it was for the better ultimately.
Yeah, I agree. And recently you announced that you're kind of veering away from doing political stuff as well, right?
Yeah.
What's the impetus for that?
Well, I mean, I said that, and then my last video was political. So I can't stay away that hard, but
right. I feel like anybody I've ever heard say, like, I'm not going to be political anymore, that lasts for like 15 minutes.
And then one beer, and it's like,
here's your problem.
Your problem is. No, you know, I think it was more so, you know, I moved to LA a year ago, and I started meeting a lot of the political commentators in real life. And I made a video about this, and I kind of realized how shitty almost all of them are. And I was feeling less and less comfortable being involved in that world.
Right.
And I started, like, hating the content I was doing because I felt like it was, like, attached to these people in a way. Because these are the people that my fans would expect me to work with, want me to be friends with. And I just hated it. And so I had to make a video, and I vented about it. And I was like, listen, all these people are shitty. I hate them. But then after I made the video, I kind of realized I don't have to associate with them. I can just do my own thing. I don't have to be around people like that if I don't want to be. And I shouldn't feel the pressure to be around, you know, fake creators and fake commentators just because people want me to be.
Right. Okay, that's a good point. And I'm so glad that that's a realization, because to be able to break away from whatever niche that the internet or pigeonhole that they've put you in is a breath of fresh air, because you don't want to just be associated with the same clique. It's like, oh, well, Blaire just produces this type of content. If I want to see that, you know, I try. That's one of the reasons on my channel I try to avoid doing the same topic twice. I try to always do something different, like, you know, attack some other, usually child or animal. But you know, I go after the real hard targets. But we should talk about one of the reasons we're talking about the authenticity question on YouTube today is because recently, and Ron, as somebody who doesn't really follow YouTube stuff that closely,
I follow YouTube. Hey, have you ever seen that one where the kid Charlie bites?
Charlie bit his finger.
Yeah. It's if his finger gets bitten.
Okay,
it's
Dad.
Fun.
Yeah,
it's really fun.
That 2004 video.
I'm like the coolest person at my work.
That video, by the way, last time I checked, had over, I think, 150, 200 million views.
Oh, I'm sure.
A crazy amount.
That kid, as an adult, actually doesn't have a finger.
Is he?
It's kind of fucked up. So
that's the cost of a YouTube celebrity.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is kind of the latest drama that's been going around on YouTube, because PewDiePie made a video about this. PewDiePie is the #1 YouTuber in the world, as many of you know. But recently there was a video that came out about Jake Paul. It's supposed to be an 8-part series, calling Jake Paul, or trying to make the case that he might be a sociopath. And
he does have 2 first names.
Jake and
oh yeah,
Paul,
you never trust someone with 2 first names.
It's always it's just a little bit of a red flag.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Look who's talking. Ron Babcock.
Yeah, God damn it, you got me.
Well, so a lot of people have been criticizing Jake Paul for a long time. Actually, so Shane Dawson is the person who made this video, and it's supposed to be an 8-part series. Now, Shane Dawson did a really good job.
Series.
Yeah.
Jesus H, man.
It's an 8-part series.
What are you, fucking Ken Burns?
Shane's doing these long series.
8-part series.
Yeah.
So he did one on ShanaCon. So for those of you who don't know, ShanaCon, yeah.
TanaCon.
Oh, TanaCon. That's right, TanaCon. TanaCon. Yeah.
Shamacon.
Oh, Shamacon. That's right.
Shamacon.
Yeah, TanaCon, which was supposed to be.
Literally no idea what any of you are saying right now.
Okay, we'll give you some context. Okay, so first there's VidCon. Okay,
yeah, I got it.
VidCon is bizarre. I think. Blaire, do you agree? I see Joey nodding.
I hate VidCon.
Yeah,
I hate VidCon.
Every time I go to VidCon, I spend less and less time on the actual floor and more time just hanging out with friends. Like it's just an excuse to see all my friends from out of town who come in. But so VidCon kind of banned Tana from a YouTube creator, big YouTube creator, from attending VidCon anymore.
Has anybody even started ShakaCon? How is that not a con? You know what? Fuck you guys. I'm going to start my own drama.
Yeah, well, you just did.
Me and Maddox are in a fight.
We'll have the RonCon.
Yeah. All right, so the VidCon bans the guy who makes stuff Tanaki on or
Ron Babcon. So Tana got banned from VidCon. She created her own VidCon, which was just a disaster. She oversold tickets to a very small space, and there was like some contention with her business partner and all this like drama that went. Shane did a very good job with that video. So as a follow-up, I think he was trying to make this video about Jake Paul, delving into whether or not he may be a sociopath. And the first video came out. Everyone roundly criticized it. Actually, it has like 1 million upvotes and only 36,000 or 40,000 downvotes. So that's like a pretty low percentage.
Well, it's a very vocal minority of people who, dislike it.
Well, one of those people is PewDiePie. So PewDiePie made a video kind of criticizing this, and I think it was one of the better pieces that was criticizing Shane's video about Jake Paul. But basically, the argument was made. First of all, Jake Paul was barely mentioned in the video, and there was, they were making the argument that it was a way to promote BetterHelp, which is a mental health website where you can talk to a therapist online. And there's all these crazy conspiracy theories that have like popped up. And this is why I'm leading back to the debate topic today, which is it possible to be authentic on YouTube? I have a sincere doubt that most of this criticism is authentic, especially for BetterHelp.com. Are you familiar with the website, Blaire?
Yeah, I did. They sponsored me before.
Okay, yeah. And what's been your experience with BetterHelp?
They were great. They were professional. They were really quick about it. They're like, hey, we want to give you X amount of money. Just mention us for 60 seconds in a video. And I did it, and then it was done. Right.
And everything I've read about BetterHelp, it seems like it's a fine service. You're going to be able to find something to criticize about fucking everything.
Yeah.
Everything has a terms of service. Everything has something you can criticize about. So no company, no person is perfect.
Yeah, I think people are criticizing that in the TOS it says that it's up to you to vet the therapist or whatever that you get matched with on the website.
Oh, the terms of service are very reasonable, I think. They say things like this: we cannot guarantee any level of service or cure for your illness is. We cannot guarantee you'll get a certain type of therapy or a certain type of therapist. I think that's very reasonable. How can they possibly guarantee that?
That's the same with a therapist you see in real life.
Yeah.
It's just not a TOS for someone in real life.
So people lost their mind.
Yeah, people lost their mind. And there's just hundreds
against PewDiePie's video.
Not against PewDiePie, but against BetterHelp.
Okay.
The sponsor of Shane Dawson's video.
Okay.
And they are just like video after video after video criticizing them about the terms of service. And the reason they're doing this, I think, is inauthentic. They're doing it for clicks because it's popular right now. They're bandwagoning. They're jumping on, and they're just tarnishing this brand so they're making money at the expense of BetterHelp.
At the expense of BetterHelp and Shane, because making a video right now about that series is going to get clicks, no matter how big or small your channel is, because it's probably going to show up in the recommended next to this video, which I think all Shane's videos on this have like over 10 million views. Yeah. So it's going to show up in recommended. So it isn't authentic. I think it's all bullshit.
I mean, isn't this like in every single industry? Like whenever anybody appears on Shark Tank and they come out with anything, like immediately there's a bunch of factories over in China that start creating copycats and lookalikes. And, you know, you have all these people who've spent their whole life creating products and they're on Amazon, and most of their day is not spent improving their product or talking to their customers or dealing with their own business. It's spent trying to get other people to stop you know, making their product, you know, or like or fighting patent trolls and things like that.
Right.
Like,
in a very literal sense, Ron, what you just described is inauthentic products. And we're talking about inauthentic content. It's very much the same. It's very parallel. So you're literally combating a forged product.
So do you think, like, if you play the clock forward, do you think it just ends up kind of becoming this snake that eats its own tail, where it becomes such a cesspool that people just stop viewing, or they just get tired of it and they just want to see other content? Like, I mean, it feels like people are viewing it. So it's like, is the fault with the creator or is the fault with the viewer for, you know, because people are making it because it's getting views.
Yeah.
So like, who do you blame?
I mean, it's a vicious cycle. There will always be drama channels. Anytime someone has a large amount of success, or any success actually, which Shane, in my opinion, I know PewDiePie is technically the most followed. I think as far as quality and hard work right now, Shane is #1 on YouTube, in my opinion. He's going to have people that want a piece of that and that want to take him down and want to see faults in it. I'm trying to remain as unbiased as I can, but Shane is my friend, and I will say, I do know his heart, and there was no malintent at all with this. And I took a BetterHelp sponsorship as well, and I had nothing but actually fans reach out to me afterward and say, like, I used BetterHelp and they were great. So I don't know. Right?
Yeah. To answer your question, Ron, I do feel like it will eventually eat itself. Like this kind of, it can't sustain itself. This kind of bullshit industry that they propped up.
But when you're like, you know, when you're in high school and junior high, like your whole fucking, and even in college, like your whole world, like that age is just drama. It's like some people age out of drama because you just get fucking tired. Like you're just tired all the time, and you just go, you know what? I start responding to people when they say something that I disagree with. This is my big response now. Okay. That's it. I stop fighting. I stop arguing. I just say, okay. It's actually very disarming. People don't know how to handle it.
Yeah.
But I just don't want to. I get tired of it. So I feel like no matter what, like there's always drama. YouTube is just giving people a bigger voice to like amplify the things that we normally have in our life.
Well, worse than that, it's not just an ability to broadcast to a bigger voice, an audience. It's monetized it. So basically, it's the Inquirer, but a video version of it, and there's no fact checking. There are people who are uncritical thinkers who just absorb everything that they see. They just consume it without asking a question. Where's the evidence? It's a very simple question.
And I think the fact that there is money in making videos, which is our product as YouTubers, is why sometimes YouTubers get very defensive over hate videos made about them. Because what people don't understand is, like, from the YouTuber's point of view who's getting the video made about them, it's like, no, this person is making money off of talking shit about me, making money off of my name. Yeah. And that's what's frustrating a lot of the times. I've seen videos where people, you know, run my name through the dirt and make up things or whatever. Right. And sometimes offer valid criticism. It's not like it's always just mindless hate. Sure. But it is frustrating because it's like, oh, so you're just making money off of videos about me.
It's popular to hate, and that's how you can make money. There's very few videos that are positive about a creator where everyone's going to be like, oh, let's fucking check that shit out. We fucking love Blaire.
I know.
We love Maddox. Let's watch it.
There are a couple, though, and I watch it, I'm like, oh my God, it's so nice when someone just like, I'm going to turn a video on and say why I like a person. I'm like, that's a good person to even do that.
I thought about doing that for like some smaller creators to kind of propel them, like people I see up and coming. But
instead of like a takedown video, it's like a put up video.
Put up
top 10 reasons why I think Jake Paul is bomb.
Yeah, this is fucking awesome. Speaking of, I mean, every great creator,
his hair is lit.
Every great creator eventually, I think, gets discovered. And one in particular was Captain Disillusion. His content is just amazing. It's stellar. Somebody, I forget who on Twitter, said one time about him, maybe it was Chris Ray Gun or Nerd City, which another great channel. Nerd City's incredible. But Captain Disillusion, they said every one of his videos is a small miracle. It really is. And when you watch, like, he'll show this tutorial he did. He did a tutorial one time about a red laser pointer on the back of a wall for a shot where he had his cat jumping up towards it. You see it in the video. The shot lasts all of 1 second. And he then makes a 8, 10, 15 minute tutorial on how he did that red dot. It is not what you think. It is not a real red dot. He 3D modeled his room and then used like some old footage that he had of his cat jumping against the green screen. He keyed out the shadows and then changed the perspective and then added shadows again that it matched the color on the back. And it just goes on and on and on.
Shit.
Yeah. Oh, it's crazy. Ethan Klein from H3H3 had Captain Disillusion on. I think he blew up pretty big after that. He just hit his 1 million subscribers. Blaire, you're about the halfway mark. You're about 475,000 subscribers right now. And I should also mention Joey's channel, because Joey started a new channel too. It is Boyfriends.
Yeah.
And it started from scratch because I was like one of the early subscribers. Already to 18,000 subscribers. Guys, check out these channels. They're amazing stuff. Joey's been doing these incredible sketches, really funny stuff. And Blaire, I got to talk about a quick plug for your channel too, because
yes, plug.
your channel is so much fun, and especially the videos. Because for those who don't know, actually, we didn't mention it at the top of the show, but most people know that you're trans, right? So you're not afraid to talk about questions and issues and things that come up that a lot of people have. Mm-hmm. And one of them is a video that you and Joey made.
I know what you're talking about. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. And it's just so much fun to watch because it's, talk about authenticity. It is just the pure interaction between a couple.
Yeah.
And you guys, when you really know someone well and you look at them and you communicate with them silently, you guys do that all throughout the video. And it's just fantastic to watch. Like, just check it out, guys. Check out Blaire's channel. There's a lot of good stuff on there. Really interesting.
Yeah, I mean, my whole approach to it is like there's enough trans people on the internet that every video is about, shoving things down your throat and activism and anger. And mine is just like, I'm just living my life. And I feel like that's kind of the best form of teaching people to just be okay with it. It's like, if you're a normal person, just being normal, people are okay with it.
What I also like about it is that you kind of break the mold of how we should or shouldn't think about trans people, because there is no trans spokesperson. There is no ambassador of trans people.
Yeah.
The same thing with black people. I remember one time I argued with a friend of mine for 45 minutes on whether or not having cornrows or dreads or braids in your hair is cultural appropriation.
Is that a big problem for you?
For me?
Is that choice of where to use cornrows or braids or dreads?
Ron, if you weren't bald, that'd be a hate crime, I think. But yeah, it's interesting because no one black person speaks for all black people. That's the point I was trying to make. No one person from any minority group or ethnicity or whatever speaks for all of them. I can only speak for myself as an Armenian, which I think many Armenians would be happy that I'm only speaking for myself. But anyway, we should let's get back to this debate, though. The authenticity on YouTube. Now, talk about authenticity on YouTube. Who do you think is doing some really authentic content? Or does anyone come to mind?
Me.
Okay. Yeah.
Me. And I love Shuan Head. She's one of my favorite YouTubers.
June, yeah, she's great.
Yeah, love June. Love Jacqueline Glenn. Jacqueline's like my sister out here in LA.
Yeah, you guys have really clicked since you moved out here, right?
Yeah, for sure. She's one of my best friends.
Yeah, she's very sweet.
Love her. And then, going back to the Shane thing, I think Shane has helped me so much with my channel with being authentic, because he's kind of keyed into this idea that only authentic lasts. And so I went to him a few months ago and we did a collab, and I was telling him I was kind of in a bad place with my channel because I was getting tired of the political stuff in the whole world, and it felt like it wasn't my passion anymore. And he was like, okay. And he gave me a huge list of other stuff to do. And he's like, you have to open up about this and do this and do that. And I did. And it's been nothing but going up since then.
Yeah.
Because you have to be real, in my opinion.
Well, I'll tell you a creator, the very first YouTuber I liked. And Ron, I don't know if you're not familiar with some of these names, feel free to chime in. We can bring you up.
Oh, I'm not familiar with literally any of the names you have mentioned so far, but I'm very much enjoying it. And I like the idea. I think that's a good point. And I think it goes for life, is the idea of being authentic or real. That's the sustainable thing.
Yeah.
Because you can't sustain drama. You can for a little bit. But as a long term. But my question is YouTube something you want to be doing in 5, 10, 15 years? Or would you, if in your head, if you're doing YouTube in 15 years, are you oh, fucking kill me? Or are you using this hopefully just to see where it goes? Or do you have a long-term plan? I'm always interested in that with YouTubers who have these giant followings. I don't know. Like we've all grown up with this technology. Are we just going to keep following these people as they go to different stages of life? Do those people does their audience age out of them and they get new people? Like where does this all go?
I mean, I don't necessarily have a 5 to 10 year plan. I'm just, maybe it sounds irresponsible, but I'm just someone who really enjoys where I'm at. And then, the term YouTuber is a little tricky because, I'm also on Instagram. I'm also on Twitter. I feel like I've sort of broadened my social media type of thing, and I do all of it. So part of my income is also Instagram. And a lot of people are like, well, do you want to elevate to maybe television, do that kind of stuff? And I've done some television, but for me, I really like being in the online space because it's the most genuine. And I just feel like I'm kind of just made for it. I couldn't see myself doing anything else, honestly.
Yeah, well, so Ron, to answer your question, I think we have to look at the age of the medium. Really, YouTube isn't much older than a decade.
Yeah.
Really,
Yeah.
it came to
right around 2005.
Yeah, 2005.
I remember I was making videos. Someone said, you should put these up on YouTube. And I said, and I quote, online video will never catch on. And I was wrong. I was very wrong.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I remember the first time I discovered YouTube, really early on in the days, and it was showing in real time people uploading videos. I'm like, oh my God, there's more. Holy shit, there's another video. How's there so much storage space online? I couldn't even, my mind was blown. I'm like, where are they storing all these videos? And I thought, there's no way this is going to last because there's no way they're storing all this stuff. And then, of course,
what I thought, yeah.
Yeah, and then Google came along and it's it became a thing. And I'm like, holy shit, now we don't even have to think about how many megs or gigs now our videos are. We just upload it and don't even give it any consideration. But the medium is very young still. And the pioneers of this industry are very few. The people who started out early and they're still doing it. Shane Dawson is one of them. That's the reason we're talking about Shane Dawson.
Yeah, he's an OG.
I always wonder, when people make their livelihoods based on platforms that they do not control, that is such a tenuous thing. Because who knows? There could be a game-changing shift that YouTube can make.
There always is.
And it can just wipe out thousands upon thousands of people's livelihoods when it's and I mean, when your product is an intangible thing like a video and it's being hosted on somebody else, to me it's a little crazy.
It's scary,
you're not because it's I don't know, you're just not in control, ultimately in control of what you do.
Well, that's why I have so much respect for people that have been in the game for so long, like you, like Jacqueline, like Shane, because that is a tenacity that I'm hoping that I can have. I'm only 2.5 years in, so I hope I can still keep doing it 10 years from now. I respect it so much.
Yeah, you really, I think you have to sustain yourself by being a jack of all trades.
Yes.
By doing other things. I started out as an old school internet guy with a website. My website still looks like shit, by the way. It looks like a GeoCities.
Joey was a fan.
Yeah, smart
he
guy.
He thought it was so cool when I came to do your show the first time. He was like, I used to watch Maddox. I used to love Maddox and stuff.
Yeah, I do like that you haven't updated the website in 20 years.
Yeah, I mentioned this story. I don't know if I did on the show, but I went out to Sweden to do a talk at for a design firm, just a world-class design firm. When they emailed me, I thought they were trolling. They're like, hey, Maddox, we're big fans of yours. We want you to come out and do a talk at a design firm. I'm like, are you fucking with, have you seen my website? It looks like shit. And they're like, yeah, we know. Just come out. And I'm like, all right. So I updated the design on my website for the first time. I went up on stage and I was just fucking around. I mean, I did a presentation that was an hour long.
So you just always want your color to be black, pretty much, across the board?
Basically.
Then a highlight color of yellow or orange. That's pretty much it.
Oh, the first thing I did, I came out on stage. I insulted the king of Sweden, which they have a king, I guess. And I was like, I'm going to be your king now. And I came out with my crown and cape and
That's great.
Yeah, my bullshit. And then I made a hand job joke. And then I was like, guys, in honor of this design talk, I've updated the design for my website for the first time in 20 years. And here it is. I showed a screenshot of the before and the screenshot of the after, and I added one line to the top. I think that line makes it look pretty sharp, and everyone just kind of laughed. So I had a good time on stage. I go down. The person who comes up after me is a woman named Jessica Walsh. Her work is in the Louvre. And her clients are like Mercedes and Nike and BMW, and she's a legit designer. She's the person who created she's made so many memes. She's the one who created the meme of dating her friend for 40 days or whatever to see if they could work out, whatever. She's made so much viral content. She's a legit thing. If I had gone after her, I would have been scared shitless to come up here and make these corny jokes. But that was so anyway. But let's talk about you have to be a jack of all trades. Another person who's a pioneer of this industry is Z Frank. You remember Z Frank? Do you know Z Frank? Okay, so this is fascinating because Z Frank was on the level of like Shane. He was the original like Shane Dawson and PewDiePie when he came up, because he came up on a different website before YouTube. Now Zay Frank is basically producing most of the videos, I think, for BuzzFeed. And yeah, and he used to make all these amazing videos where he would narrate, you know, like nature documentaries and things like that. And he was the original vlogger. He's basically the person who created the entire medium that we're doing right now.
Oh, wow.
I would love to see that guy drunk at a Hollywood bar. I created vlogging.
I gave you a career.
Basically. Let's read some, we got some quick super chats here. We got one from Pavich Babin for $5. He says, how am I going to be fulfilled every week without the weekly Babcock tip? Ron, will you post tips on Twitter?
I would love to post tips on Twitter.
Yeah.
If you could follow me on Ron Babcock, I'm going to start posting Twitter tips. Twips. Guys, you gotta subscribe to my Twips on Twitter.
Yeah, real catchy. Real catchy name.
Yeah, I'm going to twip all over your face.
Yeah, you got to workshop it, I think. And
I think it's good. I'm going to twip.
And then we got another one from Pavich Babin for $5. Says, Maddox's website is shit on purpose. Maddox removes all the unnecessary bells and whistles to pass those savings on to his fans. Yeah, my website still costs me money,
Dude,
idiots.
you know, my website is what I built mine in. You guys know iWeb?
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 Oh, iWeb. Oh,
Do you
the
remember,
shitty Mac.
Do you remember
thing?
that shitty Mac design your own website software? So, and listen, I'll tell you right now, I've had people still compliment me on my website. They're like, I like your website. I'm like, it's designed in iWeb. The program's broken, so I literally can't make any updates to it. I need to make a new one. But yeah, heyron.com. That's my iWeb website.
It does look great. I'll give you that, Ron. It
I'll
really
tell you
does.
one thing. It took me a while to get it like that. Turns out iWeb, not a lot of functionality. It really stretched that program to its limits.
Yeah, you sure did, but I wouldn't be able to tell. It looks very professionally designed. I didn't know you did that yourself. Of course, Ron's a very DIY guy, so of course he did it himself. But you know what other website looks great is eliquid.com. Guys, today's episode is sponsored by eLiquid. You can get 20% off your first purchase by visiting eliquid.com/madcast. Guys, this is the second time eLiquid has been a sponsor on the show. Thank you guys for sponsoring us.
Remember, not all heroes smoke vapes. Thank you, eLiquid.
Yeah. Well, so last time I talked about eLiquid, I bought some of the stuff. I bought, it's called the Big Baby Beast V8 stick. All right, and I got it here.
Put your Big Baby Beast V8 stick in your mouth.
I started vaping, and it's pretty cool. Now check this out. Ron, last time we had eLiquid as a sponsor. I got some of the liquid vape. It was the strawberry cookie butter, and I said, why don't you take a whiff of this and imagine me puffing a fat vape in your face that smells like that, right? Well, guess what? Now I can do it. How does that? I didn't understand vaping before I really looked into eLiquid and had them as a sponsor. Now I've like gone down the rabbit hole and I bought this thing. I price compared on eliquid.com. I really did. This thing at eLiquid is $39. At my local vape shop, $69.
What?
Yeah, that's right.
eLiquid.
Yeah. Do you want to be an idiot? No, nobody does. And I found a new trick that you can do with this thing.
Do you just like walk into that local vape shop and you vape and you're like, you guys work on commission? Big mistake. Huge.
Man, I'll tell you what, I understand vaping now because there's two functions for vaping.
I'm totally smelling it right now.
The first is makes you look cool, and the second is the taste. Now, check this out. I'm going to show, for those of you who are watching on YouTube, and by the way, there's still the YouTube video. If you go to YouTube and search for Madcast, you can look up this video, but I'm going to vape right now, and I found this neat trick I just learned how to do today.
Oh, my God.
Whoa,
Now, yeah.
What is happening?
Yeah, I'm blowing vape out of both sides of the vape stick, which means now you guys are cool as me.
Now you're talking out of both sides of your vape stick.
Yeah, that's right. It's so cool. I'm into it now. Guys, eLiquid.com has over 44,000 products. It's the largest.
It seems like too many.
That's a lot.
That's a lot of products.
You would think it's too many, but it's not. It's just the right amount.
It's just the right amount.
44. I mean, just the warehouse space alone must be the person who has to like come up with the system to organize 44,000 products.
They're very efficient. They ship usually, if you order before 2 p.m., I think it's Pacific time, Pacific or Eastern, I'm not sure, but before 2 p.m., they'll ship it the same day, and their website has like this real-time tracker.
God,
if
you know that guy's like in the warehouse, like, these vapes aren't going to ship themselves. Let's move, guys.
Yeah,
he's all fired up.
He's like vaping. One last thing I want to mention mention because this is really cool. It's free shipping, no minimum purchase, because a lot of websites do the free shipping, but it's like, oh, you got to buy $100.
You have to buy, like, yeah.
Yeah. You can buy whatever you want. They have vape coils. They have accessories. They have do-it-yourself supplies. Ron, that's for you.
Oh.
You're a big DIY
I can make
guy.
my own DIY vape pen, my DIY vape pen. Vape it myself.
I don't know what you're going to make, but you could make something yourself.
I want to see one of those like steampunks vapors, you know, where like the vape pen is the size of like a scuba diving kit that they wear on their back.
Yeah.
Nothing
You know
but
that's
like
coming.
coils and like it's made out of like leather and like horsehair.
Yeah, still not a fan of steampunk anything.
No one's ever a fan of steampunk. It's just,
Yeah.
but I do appreciate the work that people put into it.
Unless you made it vape punk.
Vape punk.
That's the thing.
God.
Guys, you get 20% off your first purchase.
It's just goggles that fill up with smoke. You can't see out of it.
They're all like riding around on swagways. For 20% off your first purchase, visit eliquid.com/madcast. Again, that's madcast for the promo code. You get 20% off your first purchase. Thank you to eliquid.com.
Read the super chat.
I will read it later.
Dude, that was so good.
I will read it later. I did see that super chat.
It's perfect.
Yeah, thank you again to eliquid.com. Guys, it really supports the show. Thank you guys for checking it out and making your purchases. And, no joke, too. This is like, I would mention this even without the sponsorship, but my friend came out to visit me, and she was like, I love eliquid.com. I'm like, do you listen to my podcast? She goes, no, you have a podcast?
Do you think anybody's given a vape pen as a wedding favor yet?
No, but it should.
There's got to be some DJ in Tallahassee who just is like has vapes for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, vapes for all.
What are you guys going to do as your wedding favor at your wedding?
I don't know. Just cash. Just give me cash.
No. The wedding favor, what you give to the guest.
Wedding favor, right, yeah.
People
giving people anything.
You know how people give like bullshit out? Like
Yeah.
it's kind of annoying. It's always
annoying.
like garbage.
What am I going to do with this shit?
Like they give you like a little shot glass or like a bottle cap opener.
Oh.
But they give you like the world's smallest jar of honey.
Yeah, or a little thing of Tabasco, which I appreciate.
Yeah.
But
Well, no, I fucking hate that.
If I'm paying like $100 for your chair at my wedding, I'm not giving you any present.
I gave you a meal. You have a place to be. You have a roof over your head for a couple of
Maddox,
hours.
you should definitely give vape pens. That'd be so fucking funny.
That'd be so super cool. And only I would expect everyone to vape.
Oh yeah, as like a vape. I'm
I
gonna
would
give out stamps.
Stamps?
Yeah, just something useful.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, that's a very
practical.
Ron Babcock thing to give
People are
out.
like, oh, cool, thank you for this like practical, useful thing.
You know the worst
That's
thing?
my love. It's not romantic, but it's practical as fuck.
Yeah, that's Ron in a nutshell.
Yeah.
You know what the worst thing to get at a wedding is, and I don't know if you've tried this,
Herpes?
Blaire. Herpes is bad.
Very
You know
that.
what? I'll say herpes is worse than what I'm about to say, but candy-covered almonds.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Did you notice, by the way, Ron, Blaire's reaction to candy-covered almonds was way worse than herpes? Because everyone's like, herpes, yeah, that sounds pretty bad. Candy-covered almonds, fuck that.
Well, every time I eat a candy-covered almond, I'm always like flirting with a trip to the dentist.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, this is good, but fuck.
Right.
Or it just gets in between the.
Oh, it's
cut up in
awful.
there.
Like, the shell is so fucking hard on those
Disgusting.
things. They break up. It's like you have glass in your mouth. You're just
Yeah,
chewing
it's
glass
disgusting.
and rocks. It's garbage. Hate that shit. Oh, they're never going to be a sponsor of
Great.
this shit.
Yeah.
They're never
Now we
gonna
burn through our candy-covered almond sponsors.
Okay, well, before we wrap up this debate, I want to talk talk about some of the most authentic and best content on YouTube, because it's easy to talk shit about people, right? I will just say this as a blanket statement. Most drama channels and most drama people, anyone associated in that bullshit-ass universe, I'm going to call out as being inauthentic because they are doing it for clicks and for money and for views. And the only way you can convince me otherwise, the only way, is if one of those channels decides to go profit-free. They turn off the ads, and then they will take out the profit motive, and then I will start to say, okay, maybe they have something. Because
They would
Maddox,
never.
Are you basically saying that you just don't want no drama in your life?
yeah, I
It
guess.
sounds like you're just not into drama.
That's not like what I like to do. I think it's so petty and just like, I don't know, base
Yeah,
to talk
it is.
about another person, let alone a YouTube
I
channel.
just don't understand like why people spend so much time coming up with reasons why they don't like something. I'm like, if I don't like something, I just don't consume it. I just move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
So if you're coming up with a lot of reasons why you don't like something, to me, it's like you're actually like kind of a weird fan.
Oh, absolutely. Which
Yeah.
is why when you meet them in person, they become
Ass kissers.
Ass kissers.
Yep.
Also, one of the things I've always used to gauge if I should be friends with someone or date someone, whatever, is do they spend more time talking about things they hate as opposed to what they like?
Yeah.
I like people who would rather have a conversation about like, I think this is awesome, I like this is what I'm into, rather than like, I hate that and I hate this
Like
group
I
of
hate
people.
like
and,
candy covered almonds or some bullshit.
No.
well, I can
Everyone
understand
hates
that
candy-covered
one.
almonds.
That
Come
one's
on, don't be
fine.
racist.
Okay. All right. Okay.
That one's fine. But, you know, it's just the difference between like someone who's more positive and more negative.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I like that.
That's what I'm known for, being a real positive dude. But again, like the things like
Basket of positivity.
I shit on concepts. I shit on ideas. I shit
Yeah.
on like
Yeah.
animals. You know,
You shit on like the macro version of
On
things.
babies.
yeah, babies. Oh, I
You know,
could go
just
on
stuff
about
that
babies.
can't fight back.
Yeah. Well, no, but everyone's like, oh, that's such an easy target. It's like, are you fucking kidding me? Try criticizing a baby. Everyone's gonna jump down your throat.
Yeah, that's not an easy target,
Yeah,
actually.
You can criticize Trump. You can criticize any politician. You can criticize, adults all day long. You criticize a baby, you're a fucking monster.
Oh, what, I'm the asshole?
Yeah, I'm
that
the
baby
asshole.
fucking sucks.
Oh, these kids, man.
My
These
friend
kids.
brought over his new kid. He's like, checking my baby. And I was like, I have some notes.
Yeah, I do have some notes. There's a lot you can improve, especially this bullshit ass approach that parents are having now, where they don't say no to their kids. Fucking say no. If you're not gonna say no, I'm gonna say no. All right, you choose, idiot. You want to be the
Right.
parent,
I
or am
see-
I gonna be the
Or
parent?
the world will be the parent.
I mean, and I know parents love receiving unsolicited feedback from people who don't have children. So that's why I'm going to say this. As someone who doesn't have a child, I tell you, when they do that thing where they give the child the choice all the time, I'm seeing a lot of kids. I'm like, you are making a very anxious child. Because it's not that they're giving them the choice. It's that they're giving them the questions way too fast. And it takes a while for the kid to process each question. So they're like, do you want to play with the truck? Do you want to play with the truck? Or do you want to play with the board game? Or do you want to play with something? Like, they're giving them so many different things, and the kid can't keep up. And you're basically giving this kid like decision paralysis, where he doesn't know what to do because he wants to play with everything. But because they're accelerated and they got shit to do, they're trying to get their kid to make a decision quickly. And what you're doing is you're making an anxious kid.
You're not only making an anxious kid, but also we're not supposed to advertise to kids because kids don't have the critical thinking to make decisions for themselves, right?
Also, they don't have any money.
They don't have any. Yeah, exactly.
Except for those kids who actually have jobs. Thank you, child labor.
I have
Oh.
met here in LA some like young kids. I mean, we're talking like 13, 14 or whatever, that are like famous on Instagram or whatever. And they're just like rich and they're swinging their power around and their parents are their bitch. And it's so weird to see.
So not too long ago,
Fuck, that's weird.
Speaking of rich kids and Jake Paul, not too long ago, I went to an event that was a Team 10 event. So Team 10 is the
Oh,
company.
God.
Oh, dude, you try to get me to go, and I didn't want any part of it.
Oh, I'm so glad I went. It was bizarre as fuck.
Oh, I'm sure.
You were texting me from it.
Oh, yeah. The average age of the person there was like 8 or 9 years old.
Oh my God.
Fucking Maddox.
And if I...
And Matt.
Actually shit on artwork that they did.
Probably. And if I like dress like an adult, if I wasn't wearing like a t-shirt and my, whatever weirdo hat, I would have just looked like a parent there. But I was like just kind of hanging out and observing and people watching. It was so bizarre. These kids were rich as fuck. And I'll tell you how I know is because I found $200 cash on the floor. I saw some kid walking by and he dropped, I'm pretty sure it was this kid I saw dropping $200 or he kicked it or something. I picked it up and I ran after the kid. I'm like, hey, dude, did you lose some money? And he goes, without skipping a beat, he goes, no. And then I turned to his friend. I'm like, must have been his friend. I'm like, hey, did you drop some cash? And the kid, same thing, without skipping a beat. No. I'm like, okay, idiots. I guess I just made $200.
Right.
You fucking rich pricks. Like, but thank you.
Even right now, as me, I'd be like, yeah, that's mine.
Yeah.
I dropped it.
No, these kids were like so loaded, and they just I could tell they're loaded too because they're wearing clothes that I've never seen before. Mm-hmm. You know, when you go to a really high end something or other, and you see some bullshit ass thing, it's a one of a kind. Every one of these kids.
I always say if you go into a store, and if the fewer the articles of clothing, the more expensive. Yep. Like I once went to a store that had t-shirts, and in between the t-shirts was a good like 36 inches of space. I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so
$60
little
t-shirts.
Mm-hmm. There's so many little stores like that, like on Melrose.
Yep.
There's so many like places where it's like, there are 5 things for sale here, but they're so expensive that the store only needs to sell like 5 of them a month to make their rent.
I also have another theory that Blaire could prove right now. The smaller the backpack, the more expensive it is. Blaire? I'm taking a look at your backpack right now.
Did you have a...
And it looks like a slightly bigger than a wristwatch. Like it is this like cute little tiny guy.
Yeah, well.
Right? But
I'm responsible with my money for the most part. Like I splurge like once every like 5-ish months, and then I'll get something really nice, but it's always stuff that I know will last forever. Like that's a backpack. Like I'll always need a backpack.
Yeah, everyone has a thing or two that they splurge on. For me, it's two things.
eLiquid.com. With over 44,000 products, it's not a splurge when it's a necessity.
And also, you can't afford not to buy it.
I'm losing money. I'm not buying it.
I'll tell you the two things I splurge on is food and travel. I always want to buy good food, and I always want to spend money on travel, which, by the way, guys, hot tip. Here's a fucking Maddox tip. How about that?
Whoa, hold on.
Yeah.
You're creeping on my territory here. All right.
Hot Maddox tip. Right now, there is a deal going on to fly to Paris or Rome for $267. You can go to kayak.com/explore, and you can see these. It really is. And then there's a ticket I found to Japan for $428, which normally it costs like $800 plus. And there's a ticket to North Korea or South Korea for $409. Just crazy travel deals right now.
Oh, I should go to fucking Paris.
Yeah, and then Mexico. I found a ticket to Mexico for like $200.
Does it include the hotel?
What's that?
Doesn't include the hotel.
No, it doesn't include the hotel, but
But that's amazing still. That's amazing.
It's amazing, yeah. Especially Blaire.
I have a friend who had a good tip about flying over to Europe. A lot of times people try and fly to the city they're going to. Makes sense, right? But sometimes it's expensive to fly into Paris or London. Just get over to Europe.
Yes.
Just find the cheapest flight to fucking Kiev or Milan.
And then get a
anywhere.
train or a car.
No, once you're over there, you could just use like Ryanair or one of the low-budget European carriers where it cost $14 to fly from Stansted, London, down to Bordeaux, France. It cost $14. Once you're over in Europe, it's like less. It's like $50 to $100 to get anywhere in Europe. So what you do is instead of going to the city you want, go to some fucking city you never even thought you would visit, like Stockholm, whatever. Stay there for the night. And you don't even have to stay there for the night. But I say tack on an extra trip and then spend like $25 going to the city that you're actually trying to get to.
Hey man, great tip. And that's how I went to Budapest.
That's not even the Babcock tip. That's just a tip.
That's just a tip. I needed to go to Greece for a wedding. And I found a cheaper ticket to Budapest. It was going to save me like $1,000. And I'm like,
oh, wow.
Fuck it. I'll check out Budapest. And it was amazing.
Yes. And
Had
it's
an
like those
amazing
like
time.
wonderful times that like you give yourself a little adventure that you never thought you'd have. It's great.
I had a fan meetup there in Budapest. I was like,
wow.
I was just like, I posted on Facebook. I'm like, hey guys, I'm in Budapest. And let's have a little
When you
pub
say you had
crawl.
a fan meetup, was it just one singular fan?
I was expecting in Budapest like 1 to 0 people to show up. And like 10 I think 10 people showed. Yeah, 10 people showed up
That's
in
awesome.
Budapest. It was amazing. Oh, this story too. So I meet up with these guys. I'm like, holy shit! I have fans in Budapest who not only are fans, but they are like engaged and they want to like meet up with me. I'm like, great. So I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna be the big man. First round's on me. I take him to a bar. I'm like, yeah, I got all this. I got all the beers. I plop down my credit card. They're like, cash only. I'm like, oh fuck. So I reach into my pocket and I pull out a 20,000 bill and I'm like, huh? And she goes, okay, thank you. Gives it to me. Gives me like 8,000 change. And I'm like, well, how much did I just pay for this beer? I went home and I did the math and it was less than like 70 cents a beer.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I thought I was going to look like the biggest asshole, like, big man Maddox, and I can't even pay for the fucking bear he promised. Yeah.
Oh, that's so funny.
It was
I've
super-
never
I had a
been out
great
of the
time.
country.
Yeah, what's that?
I've never been out of the country. ever.
Really?
What?
And I want to really bad.
Do you have a passport?
No. But yeah, I've never been out of the country.
Well, what's one place you want to go to?
Probably like London and Paris.
Yeah.
Just places like that. Places that as a kid you like romanticize that are amazing. That
You
probably
should go. They're
aren't
great
as
places. You
amazing.
would have such a good time.
You would, yeah.
I need
And with
to.
with the cheap tickets that he set up.
Yeah.
Hey, speaking of tips, Ron, what do you got for us? You got a Babcock tip for us?
I do have a Babcock tip. I got a couple, and I'm trying to decide which one to tell. I think I'm going to go with this one. All right. I think people don't realize how incredible the public library is. Now, you might think of it as a homeless person masturbation factory, and you are not wrong. But I think libraries are amazing. Now, yeah, you can go to libraries, they're great, but I'm going to give you a tip that shows that this is to help people who don't necessarily want to go to the library, but they want to get the benefits of the library. If you are buying audiobooks, you are throwing your money away. The library has audiobooks, a fuck ton of them.
Oh.
Maddox, you can suck my dick. So you go to your local library. It has an app. They will have a service with something called Libby or RB Digital, and you can go on there. Just search on your library website, and you can place a loan on either a hard book or on an ebook or on an audiobook. And you can actually, get your ebook to your reader. You can get your audiobook. You can listen to it on your phone. It's treated just like a normal library book, except there's no overdue fines because when it's done, they just take it back. So you can only listen to this digital copy for 3 weeks. But like if you're the type of person who spends like money on audiobooks, which by the way are like surprisingly expensive. I thought audiobooks were going to be like $5. You can suck my dick. But they're like $30. Dude, just fuck Audible. Just go to your local library app, sign in with your card, and enjoy audiobooks for free.
That's your tip, Ron?
That's my tip.
That's your...
Oh, it's the tip that I use all the time. I haven't paid for a book in a year.
You know what? Fuck you, Ron. My book is available in bookstores and on Audible, and you're telling people to go to
not use
the fucking
Audible.
library, you piece of shit, to get my fucking book for free, to listen to it. Because you can't spend $10.
Again, Maddox, with your short-sighted thinking, you're missing the fact that the library had to originally purchase copies of your book.
Thank you, Ron. I get $1 per library.
And they don't go... There's a lot of libraries out there.
Yeah. What? How many are there out there?
Listen, man, you could either spend money or you could save it and invest in. Your choice, buddy.
Yeah, well, I don't have any money to save if people are going to the library and scamming out of fucking royalties.
Maybe you should stop writing fucking books.
Oh, maybe. I just about have because it takes so fucking long.
I want to be sponsored by Audible.
You've been sponsored
by
by
Audible? No, I want to be.
Yeah.
They sponsor a lot of people. They have coin.
Audible's great. Don't listen to Ron's tip. I'm gonna
go to Audible.
I'm gonna veto the Babcock tip this week.
And that's how you know it's a good tip.
Yeah.
And you know what? Actually, the libraries are kind of amazing. One of the best ones I've been to is in Altadena, California. You walk in, it's like walking into the set of Mad Men. It's a 1960s building. They totally kitted out the entire inside like a 1960s office, and they have a 3D fucking printer there. You can go to the library. You can use the 3D printer. You can go to the library. You can take out video games. So they have a whole section of like Xbox and PlayStation and everything.
Okay, is a 3D printer the thing you can make a gun with?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, there's other things you can make stuff with.
Just guns.
Just guns.
Well,
you can make dildos. You can.
that also shoot.
I was talking to Joey about it. I've never seen one. And I have no concept of like a printer making a gun.
It's wild, isn't it?
Yeah. Well, this is a central piece of a video I'm working on about gun control, which is coming because I'm like you, Blaire. I rarely like to make political videos.
I prefer your video about dildo control, personally.
Dildo control. Oh, by the way, guys, I got to plug an Instagram channel. I don't know anything about this guy. I've never met him. Not a friend of mine. I don't know anything. But it's Strange Dildos, and it is just fantastic. He posts the creepiest fucking dildos, and there's so many of them, and they just keep coming. They're like alien dildos and weird like rabbit dildos and dildos that are like way too anatomically correct.
That's what you should get people when you go off the registry.
Weird dildo.
You just get someone a weird dildo, and you're like, you're going to want to use this around year 10.
Yeah. So
we'll
great.
Follow.
Great shitty tip, Ron. So the Altadena library not only has my book for free, but then they have a 3D printer, so you can then have a physical copy of my book also for free. Garbage.
Yeah. Hey, but yeah, you can't get video games, man. Just fuck GameStop. Just go to your library, get some games.
That's true. That's a good point. Just a couple quick super chats, and then we got to move on. From Pavich Bavin. He says, Maddox the vapist. He's calling me a vapist.
I would say you're a serial vapist.
Yeah. For $2, and Pavich Bavin for another $2. He says, I never splurge on anything ever, period.
That's bleak.
Yeah, for $2. Thank you, Pavich Bavin. And another
Clearly didn't splurge on the super chat either. Thanks.
Yeah, he made his point. And another one for $5 from Pavich Bavin says, Ron, if you think the library is cool for free stuff, you should check out this thing called the internet. Yeah, all right. Yeah, the library is just like piracy you go to.
I don't understand how the library even would like the reason. I'm glad we have libraries today because there's no way we would have them today if they didn't already exist.
That's true.
Someone the idea of a library.
I agree.
What is it? It's just free shit.
Just a bunch of free books.
What if people don't bring it back? No. Charge them $0.25.
Yeah. And in antiquity too, if we had more libraries, we would probably as a culture and civilization wouldn't be so fucking dumb, because the Library of Alexandria contained.
Dude, I think about that all the fucking time.
Like, what have we lost? We've lost so much. The Library of Alexandria.
It had all the world's knowledge.
Everything. All of the books of antiquity, all of the writing.
Fortunately, libraries are super flammable.
Right.
They're like made out of stuff that can burn.
Yeah.
And like, so we lost all the world's knowledge up until that point, and you just wonder like what was in there.
Atlantis, they're the old philosophical writings of old, probably some ancient music and shit like that. We've lost.
It's almost like kind of like that's one of the downsides of actually putting all your knowledge in one place rather than keeping it scattered about.
Yeah.
Like you wonder like when you put all your eggs in one basket like that.
Or on the internet now.
Or on the internet.
I mean, like, we can never forget things now.
I think our next big, like the burning of Alexandria or the Great Depression, is actually going to be like all the servers for YouTube are just going to go down.
Don't say that.
Yeah.
And then people are going to be like,
that is terrifying.
Oh, I used to have followers. And it's like going to be this new world order, you know? Like
I was YouTube famous back in the day.
See, I mean, there's literally people who were the biggest people in vlogging who... There's people in this room who've never heard of him, Z Frank, like we talked about earlier. Yeah, exactly. So it could happen. It's but he's kind of like behind the scenes now. Let's talk about last week's debate though, real quick, because we need to move on. We talked last week about who's the best stand-up comedian. Blaire, anyone off the top of your head? Who do you like?
I'm honestly not big into stand-up comedians. I went to my first comedy show the other night. I went to see Joe Rogan, and like he was funny, but like it wasn't my thing.
Okay, that's fair. That's totally fair, because there's a lot of people who are like that. They don't like stand-up.
There's a lot of bad stand-up out there.
Yeah, there truly is. Well, we have the results from last week's debate. Coming in dead last is Stephen Wright, my pick. Assholes and idiots.
Dead last?
Assholes and idiots. This, you know what though? I know why. It's because Stephen Wright.
He's not as
he's not as active.
Yeah.
Nobody like has seen Stephen Wright stuff. Followed by Patrice O'Neill. I thought Patrice was a pretty strong candidate.
Yeah, but he passed.
Yeah.
And people aren't they're going with what's current, what's affecting them now.
And then Robert Benford's pick, which is Norm Macdonald.
And then my pick, which is current.
Coming in number one was Bill Burr. Ron, congratulations. I think that's the second time you've won.
I think I've won a lot more than that.
I don't think so. That was definitely, maybe that's the first time you've won.
I saw him at the Joe Rogan show the other night, and I didn't laugh once.
Then I've been
Bill
corrected.
Burr.
Yeah, I didn't laugh.
He's been kind of ranty. I think he's been like more ranting than.
He's probably working on some new stuff.
Yeah, I mean Carlin's like that. Carlin, classic. Like everyone's like, oh, we can't believe you guys didn't pick George Carlin. I saw George Carlin live before he passed, and it was funny, but a lot of it was just rants. He was just
it's like anything, It's like there's going to be a lot of, like I always say, like there's more bad stuff than good. It's like you take any look at any videos of any YouTuber. It's not like not everyone's a winner. There's a lot of ones where it's like, I didn't know what I was doing.
Most YouTube content is shit. Yeah. And when I first set out to make YouTube videos, my goal, my express purpose was to try to produce a better quality YouTube video, which is why I always edit, produce music, 3D stuff in the backgrounds, which I do myself. You'd appreciate, Ron. Mm-hmm. We got a super chat from Apostolos Costantino for €5. He says, Maddox, did you print alien dildos with the library's 3D printer? And he spelled dildos with a 0 because I think he was afraid that would be censored in my super chats. No, guys, you can type dildo all you want. And no, I did not print a 3D dildo. But it's time for some quick news headlines. We should get to some of these. Listen to this bullshit. We were talking about kids and babies earlier. Listen to this fucking kid. A two-year-old destroyed $1,000 of his parents' money by putting it through a shredder.
I saw this one.
You saw it? Yeah. And I brought a picture.
Where was this? What country?
This was in Utah, my home state of Utah. I'm going to hold this up in front of the webcam. You guys can see like a black and white picture. It just looks like garbage. It looks like nicotine. Yeah, it looks like shit. This fucking kid put the money through a shredder, $1,000.
Where were they keeping $1,000?
Well, they were keeping it in an envelope. The child's parents were saving up to attend a football game. One day, the money was stashed away in an envelope.
What? I don't feel bad for them anymore.
Yeah.
If you're spending $1,000 on a football game, this is why rich people shouldn't be. This is why people should be allowed to have money.
Yeah, well,
$1,000 on a football game.
And
for fuck's sake.
Yeah, they're trying to get the money reimbursed.
From who? Who the fuck's gonna reimburse?
A GoFundMe. That's what they always do. There's just one girl who spent like her life savings on lottery tickets.
Yeah.
never got a dime, and then started a GoFundMe. She's like, everyone should feel bad for me. But I would put that fucking baby up for
Tell me she did not get her money from the GoFundMe. There's nothing,
I don't think she did.
It's pretty great when you see a GoFundMe like that, and you see it's like it fails so hard.
Yeah,
yeah, because it's like, girl, that's your problem.
Do you remember Save Karen? Do you remember Save Karen at all, Blaire? You might be too young for this, but Ron, do you remember Save Karen?
I remember Save Ferris.
No, it's not Save Ferris. Save Karen was a website. You would hate this, Blaire. I'm sure you'd make a video about this, or maybe, I don't know. The internet would be going nuts if this was out today. But back in the early 2000s, before Facebook and everything like that, there was a website called Save Karen because this girl was irresponsible, and she accrued like something like $50,000-$60,000 of shopping debt. She just went on a shopping spree and maxed out like 3 or 4 credit cards. And then she said, hey guys, I'm irresponsible. I made this mistake, and can you help bail me out? And she created a website where people could donate money.
Why are other people's problems got to be my problem?
Yeah.
Right.
Why do I got to fix other people's problems?
Right.
People like that ruin the whole like GoFundMe stuff, because like some people it's like, I need cancer treatments, or like my dog needs surgery or it's gonna die in a week, and it's like people want to donate to that, and that's like,
I get that
as well. But then you see people like, I spent my life savings on fucking like strange dildos or anything, you know what I mean? And then they want money. It's like, no.
Yeah, that's your fucking problem. Don't look for, like, I understand health things, right? Like a funeral. A funeral's a thing. Okay, yeah, you have funeral expenses. You have health things that come up. People don't have insurance.
Like I offer to bury the body for people all the time.
Ron's a great
I'm a good guy.
Hit him up. Ron's a good
I got a place.
Crypt keeper. Yeah, that's right. Well, listen to this copy too. I love the copy on these like fucking bullshit stories. Kids, they really do the darndest things. I hate that expression so much. I talked about that in my book. Yeah. I have a whole chapter talking about I fucking hate when they say kids do the darndest things, because they really want to say damnedest. And everyone's pissed off at kids, but they just don't want to talk about it. Just ask Ben and Jackie Belknap, whose 2-year-old son put their savings through a shredder on Monday. CBS affiliate.
Now we can't see the Cardinals.
Yeah. So me and the wife have been saving up to pay for our Utah football tickets in cash, Ben tweeted.
For a college game?
Yeah. Jesus. We pulled our money out yesterday to pay Mom for the season. Well, we couldn't find the envelope until my wife checked the shredder. Yup. 2-year-old shredded $1,060. Good.
You shouldn't be spending $1,000 on going to a football game anyway.
I mean, it was season. It was season tickets, so I get that more than one single game.
What is that? I don't.
Season ticket holders, so they're paying for the whole. They said the Utah season, so they're paying for the whole season. So they're going to all the games again if it's your thing. But it's also like that to me is also like it's not that you listen. You could be into football, but don't like that is extra money. Like that is not a need. That is a want, and that sucks. But it's like, I mean, it's like
it wasn't cancer treatment.
Yeah, it's like okay.
Hey, with all the time they're saving from going to football games, maybe they can get a job. We got. Oh, listen to this one. I want to know what
he should compost that money though, because then it's going to be the real primo expensive. It'll be the most expensive compost he's ever had.
Yeah, maybe they'll get a money tree. Listen to this one. I almost made this the debate this week. This is interesting. A controlling girlfriend gives her boyfriend a contract with 22 rules. And I brought the contract in. This is crazy. Did you see this?
I'll let you know how much if I'd agree with it.
Okay, yeah. Let's go through this list. A man traded in his car and accidentally left a list of rules written by his girlfriend for their relationship by the vehicle.
God. Oh, that's got to be a violation of the contract.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Later, a Twitter user named KKIs96 found it and uploaded it to social media sites. However, it went so viral that he was forced to delete the original tweet because people mistakenly thought it was his girlfriend who tweeted this. So here are the rules. Listen to these. Number 1, you are not to have a single girl's phone number.
That's too extra.
That's just like...
No, that's bullshit. I'll veto that shit. I have a lot of girls who are single who I'm not interested in and are not interested in me. We're friends.
That just seems like a red flag right there. Like anything you do is going to be a jealousy.
His best friend is a woman.
Joey's best friend is
one of his best friends named Rachel.
Not anymore, bitch.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. Rule number 1. Sorry, Joey.
No, and I love her, and it's fine.
Rule number 2. You are not to follow them on any social media, including Instagram, Snapchat, and Twitter.
Wait, following like any girl?
The women, the single girls, yeah.
Oh, I love him to message me like, hey, I think your stuff is funny, but are you single? No. You don't understand. I just have to make sure you weren't so I can follow.
Unfollow. I always feel weird. This is kind of weird, but like, my friends sometimes who have like really hot girlfriends who are on Instagram, they post a picture, they're like, extra cleavagey or whatever. And I click like without thinking because I'm like scrolling through and I'm like, oh shit, I hope my buddy doesn't think I'm
the wrong way.
Yeah, and so I quickly go to my buddy's Instagram and I like a bunch of his photos too. I'm like, are we cool now? Are we cool?
I like 5 of hers for 1 of hers.
Yeah. I'm like, we're cool now, right? I'm not like hitting on your girl. Maybe I'll unlike that just to be safe.
That was a problem for me when I first got with him. He was following so many hoes. But it wasn't just like female friends. It was like every hoe on Instagram was like followed by him. Didn't matter if they were a regular girl, a tranny, anything. He was following them, and he was liking every single picture. And so,
I just think it's cool that Joey can find beauty in this world.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
That's a beautiful
I
thing.
guess, but it took so long to get him to just unfollow all of them.
Are you a jealous type, Blaire? Do you get jealous of?
Yeah, you have to be.
All right, that's
You have
honest,
to be.
that's honest.
I own it.
All right, here's rule number 3. You are not to hang out with Keegan, including his house or anywhere in public.
Wait, who's Keegan?
I guess one of his...
There's one
That's like a real
specific
fun
person.
dude.
Yeah. You are not to go to Honda without me. I don't...
Wait, so there's 22 of these? We've
Yeah.
just done like 4.
Yeah. You are not to hang out with your friends more than 2 times a week. Holy shit.
Yeah, damn, that's not even that many.
You are not to look at a single girl. That's a bizarre one, because how do you know they're single unless you talk to them? She's encouraging him to talk to the girl.
Seems like she's been burned before.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah. People like that, if you treat someone like that in a relationship with that amount of crazy rules, you're treating them like they did something wrong when they haven't even done it, so they might as well do something wrong. You know what I mean?
If girls come up to you at any place or any time, you are to walk away, and walk is capitalized. Don't. As opposed to what, idiot? Crawl?
Go crawl.
Yeah. Just slither away. Mo is not to hang out with us every time we hang out. So I guess he's got a buddy named Mo.
This guy also
Mo
sounds like
a problem.
This guy sounds like a piece of work, though.
I think that's the first rule I agree with.
Yeah.
So far, his friends are named Mo and Keegan.
Mo and Keegan. And Mo hangs out with them all the time to the point where it's become a problem and she has to make a rule.
But not so much a problem that it's not the number 1 rule.
That's right.
I would say that would be like, hey, man, you can't hang out with Mo all the time.
Oh, listen to this one. You are not to ask for head. Wow.
I mean, I thought relationships were based in strong communication.
Yeah.
Letting each other know what you need.
If it's something you like, why can't you just say, yeah, I kind of like this special
I hate
favorite.
when, like, in relationships, when people use sex as, like, this weird...
Yes.
Like,
The barter system.
You were so nice, so I'm going to have... It was like,
I
that is
fucking
such a
hate that.
fucked
That
up,
is weird.
Yeah.
weird commodity-based
Yeah.
system. Be like, what? We just fucking love each other. Why aren't we, like, together?
Yeah. I remember one time I was dating this girl. We got in an argument. And at the end of it, like, we're still, like, discussing and trying to, like, work things out and try to resolve the conflict. And she just throws this in the middle of the conflict, the middle of the argument. She goes, well, enjoy masturbating tonight. I'm like, fuck you. I don't want to have, I don't want to have sex with anyone who doesn't want to have sex with me. If you don't want to have sex with me, go fuck yourself. Like, I don't give a shit. I'm not gonna beg and, like, I'm not gonna kowtow and then, like, give into an argument so I can have sex with you. What are you, some kind of weird argument prostitute?
Yeah.
It's always really fun to have sex with someone who's super disinterested in having sex.
I hate that shit so much. Don't fucking barter. And you know what? It's
weaponizing it.
It's weaponized. Yeah, it's weaponized.
It's fucked up, man. It's like, it's such a bad basis for an actual relationship.
Yeah.
It's weaponized intimacy withdrawal. And it's pervasive in our society. Even if you watch How to Train Your Dragon, right? In that movie, every single fucking movie has this weird trope where the guy does something nice for the girl who doesn't like him at first.
Yes.
And she rewards him with a kiss.
Yep.
Fuck you. Hate that shit.
Women are trained to be like that.
I hate it. I hate it. Another rule. Here we are. You are not to get mad at me about a single thing ever again.
Jesus Christ. I mean,
that seems like a jokey one. How can that be serious?
Yeah,
right?
that one has to be.
Yeah, that one has to be jokey.
I wonder if he also came up with a contract. Like, are we not seeing his contract that she signed?
His contract is just like, the same list, but he removed the word not. You are not to bring up Tyler, Noah, Devin, or Josh ever again. You are not allowed to drink unless I am with you. More jealousy. I am allowed to do a phone check whenever I please.
I like that one.
Oh, you like that one?
I feel like if you're in a relationship, you should have access to each other's phones. Joey can check mine and vice versa.
Well, I would be pissed off with that rule.
phone check like that. Okay.
Yeah, like a phone check. I would be pissed off at that rule if I wasn't Maddox, and I know that sounds like self-aggrandizing, but every girl I date, I tell them at the outset, I said, look, because of who I am, because I have this public persona and stuff, sometimes girls flirt with me and they send me nudes and things like that. The question to you is, do you want to know about that, or do you trust me that I'll do the right thing and not have to tell you? And every girl is different. Every girl I've dated is different. And then I also offer them this. In addition to that, I'll have an open phone and open computer policy. So you can check my computer, you can check my phone whenever you want. And most girls are just like, yeah, okay, I trust you. I don't care. They don't. But if I was in a normal relationship, I think I would be like, well, I don't know. Why don't you trust me? You know?
Yeah. We check each other's phones all the time.
I mean, you and Joey are both like, social media people. You have big online followings. If we move in, there are never to be girls at our house. I guess this girl doesn't have friends or female friends. If we move in together, your friends will rarely be allowed over. Wow. If I catch you around girls, I kill you. Wow.
Jesus.
She must be really good in bed, though.
I don't know, man.
I don't know why somebody would agree to this.
It says, you are not to ditch me for your friends. That's reasonable.
Oh, I like that one, yeah.
Yeah. Austin does not control when I hang out with you, and that's in caps.
Those guys seem to have issues with friends and his girlfriend.
Let's see, so far we've got Mo, Keegan, Austin, Devin, Tyler, Noah, or Josh.
I think those guys, Devin, Tyler, Noah, and Josh are her ex-boyfriends.
Oh.
That's why he's like, you can't ever bring them up.
Oh.
I will say some friends gotta go when you're in a relationship. Some friends are just not good for being in a relationship.
Yeah.
Some friends are just bad. Like, he's had friends that just are bad examples, get him in bad situations, so they just gotta go. And vice versa.
Yeah, I try not to, like, it's overbearing if I say you can't. Like, ultimately, anyone can decide who they can be friends and not friends with. I can just say, I don't like this about this person. I mean, it's up to them, ultimately, if they
It's tough when you don't like your significant other's friends.
Yeah.
I'm
makes
just
it
very
real difficult.
straight up about it. I'm like, no, you can't hang out with him, honey. No, that's bad. He's not bad news.
We are to go on a legit date once every 2 weeks at least. That's reasonable.
That's cool, but to make it a rule, and then you're in trouble if you don't, it's like,
Once every 2 weeks? If you have to make a rule that you see your significant other...
No,
once
she
every 2
means a
weeks.
date. She means like we go out, not we're just hang out and Netflix and chill. Like,
I think
there's effort put in.
I think that's reasonable. I think that's a reasonable one.
yeah.
I get, but to me, when you put a date, when you put a timestamp on it, you're setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah.
Because what happens when you don't make it? You set this artificial deadline, and now, oh God, fuck, it means we don't love one another. It's like, it's just setting this whole thing is just setting yourself up for
Failure,
massive failure.
It should be both parties just make an effort to do it often.
Yeah.
Okay,
and when
there's-
you feel like it's not happening, it's like, hey, we should probably spend some quality time together.
And talk about why it's not happening. There's three rules left, and this one makes my blood boil.
Oh, shit.
If I say jump, you say, how high, princess? Oh my God.
This woman sounds like the fucking worst.
Sounds like the worst person alive.
Awful. I have never...
Anytime a girl identifies with being a princess,
Yeah.
Yeah.
fucking A, man. So many red flags.
I have never and will never call a girl princess.
It's the creepiest thing.
Unless I'm being sarcastic.
I'm daddy's little princess. What what shitty kingdom are you in charge of?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird.
You are to make sure you tell me you love me once a day at least, so I know you're not messing around. That's sad.
She has issues.
Yeah.
But it seems like he's actually not like the... I mean, I feel like this guy... I feel like you should invest your time in somebody else. If you got to tell all this stuff...
But then again, this might have came out of... They might have been together for a while. He might have made her crazy. Because sometimes
Maybe,
it's like people
yeah.
are like, oh, I have a crazy ex. Well, what did you do to make her crazy? You know?
Well, I mean, but this is like...
I mean, this is really crazy.
Here's the last rule. You are to never take longer than 10 minutes to text me back. Now, if a guy...
Ew.
Guys sometimes have those rules with girls, and they come across as completely controlling and overbearing.
Yeah.
This is the exact same thing. If
Yes.
you don't trust your partner enough to, finish what they're doing, maybe they're taking a shit, maybe they're watching a movie with a friend, maybe they're at dinner.
Well, I know, Maddox, you hate to text and shit.
I love it.
So stupid.
We got let's see, we got another story here. Speaking of, this woman sent an exit survey to all her exes, and it's just brilliant. It says breaking up can be a messy business, whether you're instigate it yourself or your significant other does, but more often than not, someone gets hurt. Well, a young woman named Katie has made decoupling that much easier. Rather than getting bogged down with things like feelings, she approaches her breakups with a beautiful sense of logic. Katie ends her relationships with an ex by sending an exit interview in which he can offer constructive feedback and ways that she can improve the dating experience. I think that's fantastic.
Fuck it. But you know what?
Too much.
No,
Really?
I feel
too
like
extra.
Katie she is going to find a guy who is going to be a similar type of person.
Yeah.
Like someone who's like a fellow engineer. This sounds like someone who's an engineer.
Yeah.
They're looking to optimize and streamline and make something efficient.
What's wrong with that?
I mean, hey, listen, if I wasn't taken, I'd probably be like, where's the entry interview, you know? But like that, I love that.
I think it's good, right?
It's okay, but I also feel like you're a different person in every relationship. Like, I made mistakes in my last one that I would never make now, but that was me realizing the mistake. I didn't need to be told it, but
some people
need to be told.
Some people need to be told.
I've talked to some of my exes in the past, and I've asked them questions like, hey, now that the relationship is over, is there anything that you feel like I, could have improved, could have done better? At the end of every relationship, I set out as a goal for myself. I look at my relationship critically, as critically as I can, and I try to improve one thing about myself. What did I do that I could do better in the next relationship? And I try to improve, and there's like mistakes.
Is it hard though when the response is always have a bigger dick?
Ron, I don't like that joke at all. Here's another story. A rock was used as a doorstop for 30 years, and it was identified as a meteorite worth up to $100,000. This fucking story. One man's trash turned out to be the universe's treasure. These journalists love headlines like this. They can write cheese dick shit like this. A Michigan University professor discovered that a 22.5-pound chunk of stone that's been used as a doorstop for over 30 years is actually a meteorite that could be worth $100,000. Now, I saw a picture of this thing. It does not look like a stone. It looks like a fucking chunk of metal. I saw this thing immediately. I thought, oh, there's a meteorite. Yeah, obviously it's a meteorite. How did this dipshit spend 30 years of his life just sitting here kicking this thing on his way into his house?
What would have been great is if like the year before he lost his house, which still had $100,000 left on the mortgage, and this whole time.
Yeah, Central Michigan University geology professor. Oh, you love this one, Ron. Mano Serbescu said that she knew the rock was something special as soon as she saw it. Now, she makes a joke here. It's the most valuable specimen I've ever held in my life, monetarily and scientifically, Serbescu says in a press statement from the university. This is apparently something that happens quite frequently to Serbescu, who is part of the university's Department of Earth and Atmospheric Sciences. The answer has been no. Meteor wrongs, not meteor rights, she said jokingly.
Two meteor wrongs don't make a meteor. Jesus Christ. And that's when that man proposed to her.
A meteorologist. She's not even a meteorologist. She's an astronomer. This is an astronomy joke, I think. Right? Isn't it?
I think so.
It's words.
It's words.
Well, we know you're meteor wrong.
Wow. Fuck you.
Well, that's it for the news. We got some voicemails. I usually play the voicemails before the news, but I totally forgot. Here we go. Here's the first one. Ron, this is about you, because a couple weeks ago, you mentioned that your Babcock tip was to donate blood. Well, here's this guy. Listen to this.
Hey, Maddox. Just heard your Ron Babcock tip, and it just triggered me, because I've tried to donate blood several times, but since I lived in Europe during the 80s, they actually prohibit me from giving blood. So all these people talk about how great it is to give blood at the blood drives at work and how good they're doing. I legitimately, I guess legally or whatever, cannot do this. So I thought, you should maybe be a little bit more sensitive when you're dishing out those Babcock tips. Yeah, anyway, keep doing the good work. Bye.
Yeah, what do you say about that, Ron?
Yeah, we don't want your dirty, dirty blood in our system.
Well, what do you say about that caller?
I mean, I literally, that's why we have the term Euro trash, okay?
Yeah.
We don't want your dirty blood.
What the hell happened in Europe in the 80s
I don't know, man, but
contaminated?
it is one time in college, I had to, you give you the whole thing, we get asked all the questions, and I had done a lot of traveling.
Yeah.
And so they're like, hey, you can't give blood today, you've been out of the country, and yada, yada, and went to India and all these places, and they're like, yeah, you totally can't give blood. And then I walked out early, and then everybody looked at me like I had an STD. Because they ask all the questions like, have you had sex once for money? So everyone's looking at me. I was like, no, I just traveled to India.
Ron coyly looks at them and says, not once. Here's another voicemail. Ron, so a couple weeks ago when we talked about the topic was, should you become a writer? You said something that sounded maybe had a little too much English on it. Well, this caller picked up on that. Listen to this. Okay. Yeah.
Hey, Rod, or Ron, whatever. When you said certain people who talk about being a writer sound like assholes, were you talking about someone in particular? Maybe a guy who writes petty essays with a brilliant mind, maybe.
Yeah, Ron, were you talking about anyone?
Sounds like you just tuned into the Drama Channel. Okay, we're starting some shit.
Oh shit! This is the first time we've had an inter-episode drama.
Yeah. You all got to subscribe to my section of the podcast, which is different than Maddox's section of the podcast.
I will be cutting it out. Well, anyway. Yeah, the douchebag of the week was not the caller, Ron.
Oh man. You know what? Fuck you, Maddox.
Yeah.
Every time you talk about being a writer, I'm going to be like, oh, a writer.
Yeah. Well, trust me, I get it plenty.
I know.
Here's a topic we may have. We almost debated this today, but this caller came in with a suggestion. We'll probably do this at some point in the future, but listen to this.
Hey, Maddox, I got a debate topic for you. What's the shittiest fast food? Answer's Wendy's. You better believe Wendy's is the fucking right answer for the shittiest fast food.
No, Wendy's is not the shittiest.
I guarantee it'll win in the freaking polls.
Yeah, well, you might want to double check that guarantee, buddy. Because Wendy's, their spicy chicken's on point.
McDonald's is the worst.
Yeah, McDonald's is pretty bad. I got one that, we're going to have this debate at some
point. You know why Wendy's has square burgers?
Why?
Because they don't cut corners. Dave Thomas said that. I was at a talk with Dave Thomas was from Wendy's, and he said that in the talk, and I was like, "That's the best shit ever, man."
Yeah, well, I don't know. I don't know if I trust a square hamburger. You'll poke your fucking eyes out, man. Here's Ron. You mentioned a comedian a couple episodes ago when we were talking about the best stand-up comic. This guy picked up on it. Listen to this.
Oh my God, Ron mentioned Kyle Kinane. I was going to call and scream my brains out if you guys didn't mention Kyle Kinane. I think he's one of the funniest motherfuckers on the planet.
He is.
I've listened to all his stuff. I saw him live the one time he's been in Minnesota, and it was fucking phenomenal. So, yeah, that guy needs a bigger career. Thank you. Bye.
He really is he's like basically the next, I don't know. This sounds so fucking weird, but he's like tiny Bill Burr. He's like the next George Carlin, in my opinion.
Wow.
He's like the funniest dude. Just listen to him on Spotify. You're going to love him.
I wonder if I've seen Kyle Kinane.
Go listen to his bit on Trader Joe's. It's fucking great.
Really?
Yeah.
I wonder if I don't think I've seen any Kyle Kinane.
Have you not? Dude,
No,
you would love him.
You know who we didn't talk about during the stand-up comic debate is Dane Cook, who everybody seems to hate, but he's really not that bad. You could do way worse than Dane Cook.
Harmful If Swallowed, his first CD, is legitimately a good comedy CD.
Yeah.
But it takes a pretty far nosedive for me after that, his follow-up CDs.
Well, when
he got into the nostalgia part, when he's just like, remember this? And then that would just be the stadium comedy that he was doing. And now he's kind of calmed down after he didn't become a movie star. Trick is they try to make him into a movie star. He's not a movie star. He's the fucking guy next to the movie. He's like the funny dude, the funny add-on in the movie. But they try to make him, he couldn't carry a movie.
Like a supporting comic.
Yeah, he was great. And Dan in real life, he was fucking great. It's when they make him the main dude that all his movies flopped.
Yeah, huh. So Blaire, all the YouTube drama and the pettiness and bitterness and just awful people who just are catty and hate each other and want each other to fail. It's like that in the stand-up comedy world, except just way worse. And so,
I didn't know that.
So Dane Cook, when he came out with his first comedy album, hit #1 in the U.S. #1 on all charts.
Yeah, it was
right?
crazy.
It was crazy. He was beating music albums that came out. So imagine that happening. And in that universe of stand-up comics, everybody hated him. Everybody was trying to knock him down. And I think that's why he got so much shit for it. I heard a Dane Cook joke one time where he was on a late-night talk show. I think he only told his joke a handful of times. But he was talking about they have Amber Alerts and things like that. And he's, to find missing kids. He goes, I got a better idea. You put a detonator on the kid. So if the kid goes missing and you can't find him after a day or two, you hit the button. Boom. If I can't have him, no one can. Which I fucking love that joke, and it kind of makes sense to me. I'm like, yeah, man, you shouldn't have my kid either. I would rather my kid get blown up than molested. I think.
I mean,
right?
Yeah.
See, affirmative from Blaire. There we go. We got one last voicemail. Ron, this is about your Babcock tip from I think a couple weeks ago.
I've been doing a lot of Babcock tips. It's a new thing.
Yeah.
And it's causing a lot of feedback.
Yeah, a lot of feedback and a correction. Listen to this.
Oh shit.
Yeah, Ron, gonna need some bigger Babcock tips to fit inside those deep cuts. Oh, and also, it's welcome to Costco. I love you, you dipshit. Not Walmart.
From the movie Idiocracy.
Fuck. In Idiocracy, I remembered a scene where the characters arrive at Costco, and the greeter says, "Welcome to Costco. I love you." And I thought it was Walmart, and this caller politely called in and explained the mistake to me. And I appreciate the constant feedback that we both get on this podcast. That's basically them saying "I love you." By calling you a dumb piece of shit.
Yeah.
And based on that, Maddox has a lot of love.
Yeah, they love me. By far, the biggest response we get for voicemail or anything on the show is when we make a minor, we misspeak.
Oh yeah, they'll let you know.
I have heard him called "you dumb piece of shit" so many times on this show, like a shocking amount of time.
In love.
Yeah. No. Well, we'll see. All right.
They're just mispronouncing "I love you."
Yeah, well, they're mispronouncing every word of "I love you" by calling me a dumb piece of shit. Blaire, guys, make sure to check out Blaire's channel and on Instagram too. It's Blaire White everywhere. Blaire White on Instagram. It's the Miss Blaire White on Twitter though, right? Or is it Miss Blaire White?
MS Blaire White.
MS Blaire White on Twitter.
Gonna have to change that to Mrs. pretty soon.
Yeah.
True.
Yeah.
Everyone keeps asking, but I think I'll keep it the same just because people need to find me.
Yeah. And it sucks that you can't ever change your name on Twitter too.
Oh yeah, because then you get like de-verified or something.
You get de-verified. And man, that fucking bullshit ass process. When I first created a Twitter account, I didn't want Twitter. Twitter's garbage. I hate it.
I hate Twitter.
It's just the worst. So
I love it. I think it's great.
You like it, yeah, Ron. Ron lives in this like charmed world where he's not part of our like bullshit
because
YouTube
I'm not
drama.
on my phone all the goddamn time.
It's not a criticism. I think you're doing it right.
Yeah, I envy you.
But I also have no like social media following. I have a very basic B social media following.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
But guys, you got to check out my Twips. My hot Twips.
You're still workshopping, I think, that name.
I think it's good. I think it's good.
So when I first created a Twitter account, the reason I didn't is because there was someone who created a Maddox Twitter account that got like 5,000-10,000 followers or whatever. And I looked at it, and he was basically posting the same shit I would post, which is like links to my website and like.
So you're like, you can do it.
I'm like, yeah, this guy's got it. And then eventually, this guy eventually like started posting his own shit and like was using my Maddox name for like to promote his other shit. I'm like, all right, you've had your fun. So I tried to take over that account. I contacted Twitter. They're like, well, how do we know it's you? I'm like, well, it's fucking me. How do you want me to verify this? And they were like, we need 2 proofs of ID. We need all the stuff. So I sent it in to them. And then I was like, I get no response back. I'm like, well? And they're like, okay, yeah, we'll disable the account. I'm like, no, I want to take it over. They're like, no, you can't take it over. We're just going to disable it. I'm like, okay, fuck you too. And I was like, well, can I be verified now that I'm verified? You know it's me? And they're like, nope. And since then, I still have never been able to get verified. I've sent them New York Times articles, Washington Post, Time, Newsweek. I sent them my Amazon page. I'm like, it's fucking me. Here's the evidence. Nothing. And there's like Twitter accounts with like 1,000 followers that are verified.
Oh yeah, they're very weird and stingy about it, and I don't know exactly why. I was shocked that I got it. I was like,
what does it do?
Verification.
Besides make other Twitter people jealous of you.
It just is kind of like, it's to verify your identity. Sorry. But it asks really nothing. You get a verified notification tab so you can see other verified people who follow you and tweet at you, which is good if you want to contact like other people in the industry.
But
it's
just like a dick swinging contest.
Yeah,
it's like I have it and you don't. That's the currency.
Pretty much. And
like it doesn't add any functionality.
No, it does add functionality. What Blaire was saying, it adds a tab in your chat. So if somebody with another verified mark messages you, you see that, right? Is that how it works?
You know who's in my verified tab all the time is Rucka, even though he's not verified. I'm like, how is that possible?
I think he used to be, and he got it taken away. So maybe it still has that status.
He still shows up, and I'm like, what?
I'm
glad. But...
Which, by the way, if you ever take away someone's verified mark, it is clearly a political statement. Because if someone's verified, the purpose of verification is supposed to be that, yes, this is the authentic person you're talking to.
Yeah.
I have people impersonating me all the fucking time, and I still can't get my verification mark.
Because the real life consequence of having the verification is that people do take those people more seriously for some reason.
When I die on my tombstone, I want to have one of those little verified symbols.
Well, people have to check. They'll have to exhume your corpse.
Dig up the body.
Yeah,
that's
like,
such a
is he dead?
Yeah.
You get a bunch of Sandy Hook truther dipshits. But then, like, Twitter has people like, Baked Alaska way back in the day was verified. And then, I mean, his account's suspended now. But then, like, Richard Spencer, the guy who created the alt-right movement, he's verified. So there's, like, I don't get their
I don't get it.
philosophy.
It almost
or
like
concept.
it doesn't matter in the long run.
Yeah, it does matter, Ron.
Such a YouTuber thing to say. I want my tombstone verified.
Oh, I think that we are pretty close. I think that we are probably 5 to 10 years away from somebody having a real-time live webcam in their coffin. And I guarantee there's going to be fucking...
God.
Christ, you're fucking right.
Yep. They're going to have solar panels.
There's people with QR codes on their tombstones.
Really?
I've seen that before. I've seen that's in the Hollywood Forever Cemetery in LA.
Shit.
Yeah, there's like a dude who has like a QR code. I think you scan it and then it takes you to like his little obituary of his life. So there are going to be things that people, people when they die, they already have tweets from heaven where they wrote like...
Oh, I've seen that.
Like comics have passed away and they've had like, hey, they have a bunch of jokes about heaven.
Michael Jackson still tweets.
What?
His Twitter, there's still tweets.
That's
Y'all can
creepy.
look. He still tweets. I think it's so creepy.
You know who else still tweets? Rest in peace, the Mars rover. Mars rover. I think they lost communication finally, but it's been going. But that thing, they got a lot of bang for their buck with the Mars rover.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're just rambling. We should
wrap it up.
Yeah, guys, make sure to follow Blaire White. Make sure to check out Joey's channel too. It's fantastic. It's Rucka was in one of the sketches too, right? Yeah, it was super funny. Really great stuff. Anyway, guys, thank you again for listening. Thank you to the Rear Admiral Tangents, Ron Babcock.
Thank you.
Thank you again, Blaire White.
Bye, guys.
Thank you to our sponsor, eliquid.com/Madcast. Really appreciate it. But most of all, you're welcome.
This message is for Bob Babcock. I like that tangent that you went on about the Rastafarian banana you wanted to pull out of the garbage, but why would you want to pull out anything plush out of the garbage, apart from the cum or the pussy juice, so, pussy's rubbing up against that. It's also just got garbage on it, soaked into it from the garbage can. Why would you ever regret not taking that? You made the right decision leaving that behind.
Yeah, Ron. Ron went on tour across the country with a classic Mercedes. Took a bunch of cool photos and stuff, and then found a plushie doll. With,
it was a huge Rastafarian banana, and I didn't take it, and I regret it.
No one.
And apparently, this guy thinks it was covered in cum and pussy juice, which is like, that's where your mind goes to first?
That's a twisted person.
If you find a Rastafarian banana in a dumpster, the only reason you would throw that out is if you couldn't get the cum out of it. Like, guys, check out Blaire White's channel. All right.
Hey there. Don't forget to subscribe to Madcast shows on iTunes, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast app. Okay, bye. Madcast Media Network.